Electric cars may be the future, but these models are best left alone. Electric vehicles are advancing at an incredible rate. What was relevant a few short years ago is already being phased out. Initially, manufacturers sought to repurpose platforms as EVs, but with so many resources getting redirected to developing all new platforms, those inherently compromised vehicles are rapidly reaching the end of their service life. It has also been a hit-and-miss sort of development process for all car makers still unfamiliar with EV tech, often finding themselves out of their depth in certain areas of the developmental process. Some of these cars are going to be replaced soon. Others came out with high expectations and just failed to deliver. Either way, these are the worst EVs currently on the market. Number 10. Chevrolet's Bolt EV. Priced at around $2,000 more than the regular Bolt. This seems like a strange concept, clearly targeting buyers after an electric SUV, but just can't quite afford it. Fiat has discontinued the smallest 500 in the United States, leaving only the aforementioned 500X and 500L on the market. Apparently, the diminutive version was just too small and perhaps too European for the majority of American consumers, though it certainly occupied a niche in the market for low-priced style, with surprisingly solid driving dynamics compared to other cars at its price point, like the Nissan Sentra. But the 500 variant always disappointed in terms of range estimates. Not so in the new car. You don't get much for your money, so if you want an affordable EV that might self-emulate, rather go for the cheaper version. Number 9. Fiat 500. The 500 platform is already an aging one, but to give credit where it is due, Fiat did pretty well just making this platform work for that much longer as an EV. This model has already been discontinued in the North American market, although new haul stock can still be tracked down. It will also live on in the rest of the world for now, but with just shy of 90 miles range, it can only really work in a big, congested city. In a pair of new videos posted to YouTube, the longtime Hollywood leading man has turned his talents to the small screen and advertisements for Fiat's new electric car. Of course, car advertisements these days don't typically dive as deep into actual performance and engineering as they once did, instead tending to rely on star power, interior amenities, and maybe a bit of humor to grab attention. Just remember the Jennifer Lopez and Gucci Fiat ads of the past, or even the 500X commercial featuring a little blue pill. Number 8. Mini Cooper say. Much like the Fiat, the biggest hurdle for the Mini is range. At only 114 miles, it is very much limited to the confines of a city. It would be impossible to justify this as your only vehicle. But if you like the aesthetic of the modern Mini Cooper, it can make for a great short-distance commuter. Number 7. i3. Another EV that has already left North America and will be replaced sometime in the near future. It was around for almost a decade and is certainly past its prime. This was very much a first effort from the brand, and it had several teething issues. We expect to see more from BMW in this segment soon, but they have been hesitant to launch the X3 in the US thanks to its limited range. BMW discontinued the i3 in 2021 for the US and Australia, owing to dwindling sales. But Europe was still a cozy place for the tiny Bavarian, and BMW continued churning out its first-ever EV success, and BMW crossed the 200,000 mark in October 2020. This is remarkable, owing to the pricey affair of manufacturing and repairing costs of the i3 due to its sophisticated carbon fiber and aluminum body components. And with the current run rate, BMW is expected to close the E3's life run with over 250,000 units sold worldwide by July when it ends production. The latest iteration of the BMW 3 also included a more powerful model that pumps out 183.5 HP and has wider tracks. That's adrenaline-pumping territory. Most war, we can say all of the sales of the BMW i3 are currently from Europe. The last specimen of this cute bimmer will be rolling off the production line of BWM's Leipzig facility in Germany in July 2022. Number 6. Nissan Leaf. The best part of the Leaf is its starting price, but for that, you will only get the limited 40 kHW battery pack. The 62 kHz battery will cost a bit more. The other drawback is performance, as it is one of the slowest modern EVs on the market and feels appliance-like to drive. Number 5. Chevrolet Pulse. when it was launched just a few short years ago. It was arguably the most promising EV on the market, with a solid range and a low base price. Unfortunately, it has since become one of the vehicles driving customers away from EVs, with several safety-related recalls and more than a few cars going up in smoke. After blowing an early lead in the EV era, GM have been playing catch-up in a market they clearly believe in once again. When the EV unwowed the world in the 90s with its technology that was quite literally a generation ahead of its time, GM had every opportunity to cash in on this pot of gold. Sadly, a combination of external forces, politics, and inept management bent on running one of the biggest companies in the world into the ground. The project had its plug rather spectacularly pulled. Fast forward to the world of today, and instead of being a world leader in the EV market, they have become a bit part player desperately trying to turn the tide. After learning a few important lessons from the Volt, the newly developed Chevrolet Bolt has been a breath of fresh air for the brand, winning over pretty much everyone who has had a chance to drive the little car. At just over $30,000, it is one of the most affordable EVs on the market, with only short-range commuters coming in cheaper. It offers a premium feel and is well-spec'd. Compared to the competition, it offers better value and even gets adaptive cruise control as standard. Number 4. Mazda MX-30. Mazda recently professed that they were determined to perfect the gas engine before they produce an EV. With the Skyactiv engine, maybe they believe that they did just that, and frankly speaking, it would be hard to disprove. One thing they most certainly have not perfected just yet is their EV. It is, after all, their first effort and was always going to be chock full of learning curves. Solid styling can't hide the pretty woeful 100-mile range. Number 3. Hyundai Kona Electric. The Korean brands have been on a roll lately, setting new profit benchmarks year on year. Just because you can sell a lot of cars does not mean you are making good or reliable cars, though. So far, the Kona Electric has proven to be anything but good or reliable, with big issues relating to the battery pack and battery management system. This is also a platform that will be replaced soon, so Hyundai are doing as little as possible in terms of recalls. Number 2. Kia Niro. Much like the Kona, the Niro is an otherwise solid offering, but for one particularly glaring flaw. The electric motors are running through their main bearings at an alarming rate, with some cars running into the issue with only around 10,000 miles on the clock. This is no quality control issue either. It seems as though all the motors came with inferior bearings. Number 1. Changli. Although you can consider this as the flag bearer for any of the new budget Chinese EVs entering the market, we will pick on Changli because they are already there. It is important to differentiate personal mobility from an actual commuter. These little cars are simply not designed for main roads. They are unsafe and have limited range. They are not intended to be used like regular cars and should not be deemed road legal.